one of the fingers to the far left, and then Richard and I says, okay, now look at this. And so we're going down this one finger, and remember, this is a stone quarry. What are you going to find? Just stones, right? All right, so we go down the finger, I'd say the length of this room at the very most.
Okay.
And then Richard said, okay, now take a look at this. Remember what I showed you at the museum? So we get to the edge of the cave, and there's this place that was cut out where somebody had carved an angel.
Yeah.
Now, why would they do that?
Because they're hiding the Ark of the Covenant behind that angel. Look, I've seen enough movies to know that you're gonna have, like, there's angels, and they put those on the wall every single time they're hiding stuff. They got to leave clues. Okay, when you hide stuff, you leave clues. That's just how you hide stuff. And that's clearly what's happening here. So we're gonna get into it. I'm Brantley. This is the Punk Apostate. This is the show where we make fun of FundyTube. Let's get into it. So this is this guy, Trey Smith, this dude over here. Now, this is like he's one of the wackiest of conspiracy, Christian, fundy, satanic panic, whatever. You name it. He if it's occultic or whatever, this dude loves it and is all about it and is fully convinced that all of it is connected and real and the devil is in control of everything. And he also believes anytime anybody says that they found anything from the Ark of the Covenant, or are saying they were involved in a dig of some sort. I'm not really sure exactly, but we'll get into it. Here we go.
This video is an interview with my friend Mike Hughes on one of the most controversial claims of explorer and archaeologist Ron Wyatt. Ron's claim was that he had discovered the Ark of the Covenant after digging for roughly a decade in Israel. He had gone into a chamber underneath the actual crucifixion site of Jesus Christ and discovered the Ark of the Covenant. Then it was claimed that the Ark of the Covenant was taken into Israeli custody, where, if Ron's claims are true, it would remain today. And as wild as that account sounds, Mike Hughes is one of the people that was closely involved with these events. And I wanted to do an interview with him to lay down as much as he could share. It's a full-length interview on what happened.
They like garden tomb near Wyatt's dig, and it's just showing a picture of like there's a hole in the wall there, man. That's the tomb and everything. So it's
actually happened surrounding Ron Wyatt claiming to have found the Ark of the Covenant. I think you're going to enjoy it.
So now we go to the hotel room where we're having the conversation here.
The only things I can verify are things that I saw personally and what we did personally. So
you notice that's the second time I've heard that by people making up stuff. It's just interesting how they always say, look, hey, I can only say what I personally saw. Okay, now I'm not gonna speak for anybody else. Some people might say that were there with me that they didn't see the same stuff that I saw, but I guess they were not looking. That's what that is. So I'm just saying what I saw. Just want to throw that out there.
So this is not a story. It's what we've really seen. This is not a secondhand thing. Mm-hmm. All right. So met with Richard Marinell.
It's not a story. This isn't a secondhand thing. What the hell? What are you talking about, man? It's a story because you're telling a story. I don't know what you mean. Like you're saying, like, okay, but it's a firsthand account. I saw all this stuff. Okay. Fair enough, whatever, dude.
Looked at various different artifacts and things they had found. We went to the Museum of Israel and looked at a...
My goodness, his shoes are yellow. Do you see these? That is a yellow shoe down there.
It's a little pomegranate that Ron found.
Jarring.
That the Ministry of Antiquities themselves say that this was something that was hanging on the garment of the priest in the temple. That's a pretty big thing to find.
Right.
Now, I can tell you what Ron said after he presented this artifact, real artifact.
This is a part of the priest's garment.
So it's a piece of the garment of a priest was found. I feel like that's got to be pretty common. No, that's not common. That's very unusual to find stuff like that in digs. I don't know. I mean, look, just take everything this guy says with a grain of salt, because I kind of think he's making it all up. But I'm sure he's going to try to sprinkle some true things in there, like they always do. But it's just really interested to hear this story of this guy.
That's right. It's part of the priest garment. The high priest garment, right?
Right.
And Ron had said, I gave this to so-and-so with the Ministry of Antiquities with Jerusalem, who's kind of a paramilitary organization, said, hey, by the way, remember that dig I'm doing? Look at this. And then immediately they locked him up. Now, what I mean by that is they said, okay, we're going to take over from here.
Yeah.
All right. So initially, that's right. So
I feel like even Trey's kind of like, I don't know, man. This guy's seeming kind of squirrely. He's seeming squirrely, and I don't know. I even feel like I'm not maybe by it, but I spent all this money and got the hotel room, and we're already here. Whatever, man. All right.
Actually, when I'm meeting with Richard and Marinelle, they're giving me this story. We're in the Americas at that point.
Yeah.
We didn't go back to Jerusalem again yet. And I said, let's just do this. Okay. We fly out there.
Does anybody following what that whole thing was? What is he talking about? He's like, they give me this whole story. We haven't gone back to Israel. And so I'm like, let's do this. None of this means anything. Like, it's just, he's not really saying anything here.
I believe we have an idea of where the Ark of the Covenant was hidden.
Mm-hmm.
We drew maps. We made a plan. We got.
No, hold on. Andy said that he found the blood of Christ on the ark too. Really? Is that something that dude said? My goodness. That's wild.
I arranged for a ground scanning radar and team to be there with us. We had over 30 or 40 volunteers with us because we intended to start excavating. Mm-hmm. So that's how convinced I was that these guys have found some stuff. He's got an artifact in his hand, and that's completely verified. So it's not.
He's got an artifact, first of all, not a artifact, but he's got an artifact, and so that means that the stuff they found is significant. I'm just trying to pick apart what he's saying. He just sounds so disjointed. He sounds like me telling a story, right? Just constantly interrupting himself and just like telling side tangents and everything.
Now that thing, by the way, is stated as the discoverer was anonymous. They don't want to say that he was the one who found it. All right. So roughly 50, 60 people fly back. We go to Jerusalem, organize, get everybody together.
Right, Lynn.
Now here's the story. All right. So the story goes like this.
Look, when Satan's in control of everything, he can't help but leave the breadcrumbs and the symbols just all over the place for those that are really looking or really paying attention. Now they can follow all the connections and everything, but Satan's just really not good at not leaving breadcrumbs. That's the problem. That's really the problem with the whole Satan thing.
That I can say makes sense based on what we saw.
This is the full-length version of that interview. I thought this was important to put up.
Wait, what?
A few clips at the onset of it.
Wait, that was the clip that's supposed to draw us in? What are you doing, man?
This again is my friend Mike Hughes, and I hope you enjoy this roughly hour-long interview on the Ark of the Covenant and the events that occurred with Ron Wyatt.
Roughly, yeah.
Mike, you worked on one of the questions a lot of people ask about is the Ark of the Covenant. And there were claims that Ron Wyatt had actually entered a chamber. Mm-hmm. And what he believed, this was one of the great. Now, Ron Wyatt found a lot of things that are in your hand that you can verify. You were within the groups of people that examined his claim about the Ark of the Covenant. And the claim, if I understand
they examined the claim. How do you examine? Just what other than being like hearing it and be like, what's the claim? Okay, they just said it. That's yeah, that's one hell of a claim right there. What are you talking about? Examine the claim. I mean the evidence of the claim, but I'm kind of like I kind of feel like no. I feel like that's probably not. That's not what he means at all. No, they just examined the claim and then we're like, could be true. Yeah, that claim. I don't know.
The effect of that he entered a chamber,
Mhm.
and within that chamber, he saw the Ark of the Covenant was in there. This was in Israel. And where he had been digging was a spot where his arm had just gone out. And he pointed and he said, and the word just came out of his mouth, that's Jeremiah's grotto, and the Ark of the Covenant is in there. Part of the philosophy behind that was that in the
I don't think it's going to be a philosophy or anything. I don't think he understands what the anyway.
in the days of when the king of Babylon took over, Nebuchadnezzar took over Israel, he surrounded Israel to starve them out.
685 BC, something like that.
And no one escaped. There certainly would have noticed somebody leaving.
Yeah, I know the dates and everything. So you got to take everything that I say like pretty solid. Did you choose me just throw out a date like that? That was pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
With a giant gold box.
Mm-hmm.
And that the priests, and the last priest would have been Jeremiah, that they frantically hid these artifacts in the tunnels underneath Jerusalem. And that when Jeremiah died and everyone else in Israel died, there was no one left.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Okay, Andy's here and is familiar with what we're talking about. I'm so glad because I literally picked this at the last second. That's how I tend to do things, and I didn't watch any of this, but that's just more fun that way, right? So I'm as surprised as y'all are, and then it's all fun. But yeah, so Andy said that Ron would claim he found things, but always lost the evidence somehow. It's like, it just crumbled into pieces as I was walking away. It's just Satan, probably. Satan hiding stuff, you know what I mean? I don't even know why he let me find it in the first place, but he made it disappear. That's what that is. What did you get? Like, is it like a Fox Mulder thing? Like they burn the satanic occult, whatever, like burns all of his stuff. Oh man. Almost could have proved the existence of aliens or Ark of the Covenant, whatever. And they burned it all. That smoking man. He was here. That smoking man just got to us, dude. That's what happened. God damn it. That's so funny.
Knew where that Ark of the Covenant was. And that Nebuchadnezzar kept meticulous records, or his father kept meticulous records.
It's not in the inventory.
Right, and it's not in the inventory what was there. Now, Ron's story went on to claim that this chamber was underneath of where Golgotha is, or the place, the skull that literally looks like a skull, that there was a chamber under there. And that when the cross, when the earthquake happened and the ground split, that blood came down the cross, went in and dripped on the mercy seat, which was an absolutely beautiful story.
Amazing story.
About the blood dripping? That is just gorgeous. That is just the blood and guts just spilling from the ceiling onto an artifact and dusty blood. That's just, is there anything more beautiful than dusty blood? I'm tearing up. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. All right, we can move on from this part of the story.
Can you tell us about your investigation? You knew these people. Yeah. Can you, and I don't know how much of that might be incorrect. Can you tell us what you know about the Ark of the Covenant?
What, that he knew these people? Now you knew these people, but I don't know how much about that is incorrect. So why don't you, that he may not have known those people? I don't understand.
Okay, so I started an organization a long time ago called Insert. And
if you want to insert, just go to adamandeve.com and enter that code word Brentley and check out to get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Just go to adamandeve.com and you can got all sorts of stuff to insert. You know, it's and different places you can insert it, right? And just all the insertion can happen with the products of adamandeve.com. Go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley. That's Brently at checkout to get the 50% off any one item, 6 free movies, almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Just go to adamandeve.com and enter that code word Brentley, Brently. Yeah, you do the insertion. Get your butt some stuff for insertion. Okay. How's everybody doing? We doing all right? Who won today? Let's see. Lynn. Hey, Lynn won. How we doing? Whoo, doggy. That's how you said it, right? Whoo, is that the accent you actually have? If so, I'm sorry. I don't mean some people get irritated when I am too accurate with their impressions, and then I'm like, dude, I haven't even heard you. Okay, I don't. You're just I just read the words. I'm just making stuff up, but a lot of times my assumptions are correct. Okay. And James was second as usual. What's up, dude? Yeah, and he's got the poppers, the raised dildo, and the banana hawk. Hell yeah, three of the best. Three of the best emojis we got for members right there. And then Drizella was third. What's up? Hey. Yeah. So I and I want to make sure I wasn't able to like send everybody to like on the actual stream, but I want to make sure like we're doing a like a fundraising kind of thing for Brie after this stream. So if you head over to Better Than Embers their channel and you can check out, they're going to be going live. We're going to be raising some money for Brie. I did put in the community section of the of this channel the place where you can donate and stuff. So if you have anything extra, Brie's going, needing some help here recently, so anything we can do as a community would really help. So but anyway, but here you go. So what's up? What else we got here? And then Andy, I don't know as if I've ever seen you around, Andy. Like, is this your first time? Ron Wyatt was a total grifter who made up stories about finding loads of stuff. That's awesome. Really. So he's just, and I like I said, I found this like 2 seconds before I went live, which is how I feel like that's how I find some of the best stuff. But okay, so I had no chance to look this up, but that's so funny. So this dude's just a known fraud. And of course, this guy's just running around like interviewing people that he thinks were close to the guy, I guess, that were probably equally dishonest or just delusional. It's either way. It can go either way.
This is in the 1990s, late 1990s, early 2000s. And the purpose of InSearch was, let's say if you were a discoverer or
it's in search. It's in search. I'm sorry, not insert. That totally messed up the ad. Yeah, that was not. In search doesn't work as well for the Adam and Eve products.
You have this. Have this amazing artifact, this holy cow thing, right? And you've been looking for this for years. A type of person like that has
a pretzel. I'm confused. But they were searching for a pretzel for years?
This thing in their head that they're just driven to find it. That's like Ron Wyatt for a lot of these artifacts. Mm-hmm. So I thought there was a need for a service.
He's going to find it whether it was there or not.
To document a discovery as it happens. Or let's research and back into the discovery and go to that site and see if I can verify anything that the claims were.
Okay. So this is after the fact. He's just going back to the place that the con man claimed to be and is like trying to verify. Okay.
Started doing it. So I worked with the Wyatts, a bunch of different people too, the shipwrecks and stuff like that. So I worked with the Wyatts, and Mary Nell is Ron's widow. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Richard Reeves, super cool people, by the way. And his two sons, just really, really neat people. So we went to verify the discovery of Sodom, Gomorrah, Azimuth, and Zebulun. Look at the site. Look at test the material.
Sodom and Gomorrah. What are you talking about?
Test the area. Survey it. Bring survey equipment. We did all that stuff. And at the same time, they said, "Hey, let's come back and talk about the Ark of the Covenant and the discovery that was allegedly made by Ron Wyatt." Roughly 50, 60 people fly back. We go to Jerusalem, organize, get everybody together. Now here's the story. All right. So
okay, man. Like how is this? Like we're 8 minutes in. How is the story not just? You know what? I'm gonna let him.
The story goes like this: that I can say makes sense based on what we saw. Okay. All right. So here you are in the 6th century BC, and there's this box that you've got, and you're the priest, and the place is surrounded by Nebuchadnezzar's team. Mm-hmm. You can't get out, you can't get in, and you want to hide your stuff, including the Ark of the Covenant, right? Right. So can you even get outside the city?
Wait.
Yes.
What is
How would
this?
you do that?
This is like a model that he's talking about, and so this is like the way it was back in the day when all the magical stuff was actually happening and everything. Okay.
Even though it's under siege. Okay, so here's the storyline. When Solomon's
This guy is loving this. Okay, and he cannot like stay still. Like he's standing up and sitting down. He's got some kind of pouch, some kind of belt pouch of some sort. What the hell? Like, I'm not really sure who these people are. They're not even being introduced or anything for some reason. I don't know why. Apparently, they don't matter.
dad assembled all the materials to build the temple in the first place. He dug directly into the stone underneath where the temple is now, and quarried out the stone, the really nice stone, to build Solomon's temple in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. So let's imagine that you're quarrying out this stone, and there's what's called the great room, where you've got most of the really cool stone. And as
I was forgetting all this stuff. Yeah, if you could like and subscribe, all that, comment below if you enjoy the show and all that, that'd be great.
As you get to the edges of where you're quarrying, you go, I'm not getting that great a stone, but there's a good vein here. Let's go this way. And then you run out there, and then you go, well, let's go that way. And I find a good vein here, and you do. And then pretty soon, it's not just a great room, but it's a bunch of fingers going. So it becomes what you call the catacombs.
Yeah.
These are called Solomon's quarries, right? It wasn't for Solomon; it's for his temple. So Solomon's dad is the one who assembled and put all the.
It's not for Solomon. Like, what did they think? Like, what, as opposed to, anyway, you know what? I love it when people get on these things because, like, I used to be so into this stuff. Trying to, like, there was this claim back in the day that there was that Solomon's temple was like right out in the open, but it was like hidden in plain sight. And the guy that the guy that whatever, like invented it or whatever, or like built the temple, was also like famous for building puzzle boxes, right? So it was like supposedly like right there in Israel, but like you couldn't see it. You'd have to like push a brick back or whatever, and then the whole thing. It's very movie-esque, right? Like just magical bullshit. But I used to be all into that stuff. So that's like one reason why I wanted to pick this apart, because it crosses all those sort of boundaries that I used to be really into, which is like the Bible prophecy stuff, right? Solomon's temple being hidden and like an Indiana Jones type of situation, right? It's also all the Illuminati stuff and Satan and all. It's all this stuff that I used to be really, really into. So it's just so fun to like look at it now and be like, okay, this is so silly.
Building materials together, and then his son is the one who had it built.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing. Okay, so working with the Ministry of Antiquities and their lead archaeologists.
I'm like, I hope he gets to a point here soon, because if not, I'm going to start skipping ahead. And if it gets too monotonous and boring, we'll find something else. It's fine.
Wyatt's had developed and Ron particularly had developed a terrific relationship with and trust. He's not going to run off with anything. He's going to do what he says and do it efficiently and leave. And he'd been doing things, Ron, for actually a number of years.
What?
So we go down into...
None of this is making any sense. Are y'all following anything he's saying? I'm so confused. Like a second ago, he was talking about the story from the Bible times or whatever, and who, King, whatever, Solomon's son or whatever, that like made the temple and all that. Now he's on to like Ron Wyatt or whatever, and he's saying, I'm totally like lost here.
With our team,
okay, so now he's back to him, because it's like then Ron Wyatt did stuff. Right now he's going back to check the places that Ron Wyatt did.
Solomon's quarries, and we had plain dressed military escorts to block off the entrance to Solomon's quarries, so we don't get any people that don't want us there messing around, because there's a bunch of us down there.
Just like Indiana Jones 3, those guys that they had on their chest, they were the protectors of the Grail, and you don't want those guys coming after you, right? They'll come back in the last scene though and save you and everything, but you don't anyway. But still, generally those guys, you don't want them following you.
And we go down into the quarries, and let's say you're going down into the quarries. You get to where you're approaching the great room. You're not there yet. And
Hold on, do the hand motions again. I can't. I'm not putting it together. What kind of room is it again?
It's like the first left.
First
Right?
left.
You go down that one.
Right.
So we go to
Left side.
that one of the fingers to the far left, and then Richard and I says, okay, now look at this. And so we're going down this one finger, and remember, this is a stone quarry.
I love how he just keeps on sitting up and sitting. So hold on, no, the story's better up here. Story's better up here. I feel like I'm more into it if I'm up here.
What are you going to find? Just stumps.
And even Trey's like, can you just sit still, man? Like, we're trying to film a thing here, man. Can you?
All right. So we go down the finger, I'd say the length of this room at the very most.
Okay.
And then Richard said, okay, now take a look at this. Remember what I showed you at the museum? So we get to the edge of the cave, and there's this place that was cut out where somebody had carved an angel.
Yeah.
Now, why would they do that? So
because it's a secret door.
The theory is this: that high priests are saying we got to hide our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the theory is they went down into Solomon's quarries, went down one of the fingers,
Mm-hmm.
put it in the end of one of the tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
backed up, covered it up, backed up again, made a fortified wall to defend it with bow slits facing the direction that you would go down the tunnel.
Yeah.
To defend it, and then wait.
What?
And if they were successful to defend themselves, they could just go get the stuff. But if they lost, no one would know it was there. Okay.
Okay, great story. That's awesome. Is there any evidence that any of that is actually true? Like it's I love how they just make stuff up like that, because that would be a way that it could be hidden and not like, be hidden, still be in the places where it was back then. Like it wouldn't be messed with or anything all those years or whatever. And it didn't get stolen or anything like that. Right. And it just stays hidden. And it's funny because it's just like they're after the fact trying to rationalize why the Ark of the Covenant would still be in these places, I think. And to me, it just doesn't make sense. I feel like that it's more likely that it was stolen or something, if it even existed in the first place, which I don't even know if I am convinced that it did. Right. Because when you have stuff that is very special and important or whatever, and the art, like the main party line for what happened to it is God snapped it up into heaven, then it's probably never existed to begin with. It was probably just a story, right? But who knows, right?
Well, I have to verify that going down that finger, all of a sudden, you go another few yards, and there's
I'm sorry, but going down that finger sounds like you're doing something with the products from adamandeve.com. I'm just saying, if you want to go to adamandeve.com, you can do stuff with your fingers. I don't know, man. It felt right for a second. It makes, I don't know.
big pile of dirt.
Yeah.
Going down the finger.
Okay, so what is dirt doing in the middle of a stone quarry?
Right?
Of course,
It's supposed to be stones there, not dirt.
Dirt in a stone tunnel is going to have a top. So you kind of shimmy up to the very top and get between the stone and the dirt, and sure enough, the other side, the cave continues. So we went down that, and then you get to a man-made wall with bow slits as a defense position, where the slits are made to be shooting at me coming this direction.
What?
Yeah.
So
What are the slits? What is that? Is he saying like that's where the people were with the fucking arrows or whatever? They would just sit behind slits? Like windows or like hole? Like I don't know what he means by slits.
Have a block, and then the second defense is you get over that, you're there. Very clever, because you can only get through that dirt one at a time. They could easily pick people off it's clever.
Oh yeah, that's they've been barricading themselves. They figured it out. That was smart.
This doesn't seem accidental to me. So there's a mark of
Course.
which
A fucking course not. Nothing's accidental to anybody in this goddamn room. Are you kidding me?
terminal to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a defense position. And remember when you and I were in Egypt?
Yeah.
And the entrance to the Zoser complex,
Right.
where
The thin hallway. Right.
Yeah, perfect defense.
Even he sounds bored, man. He's like, can you hype up this story somehow or do something so that it's just not crazy bus stop guy telling a story about the one time he verified story about somebody finding the Ark of the Covenant.
You and I talked about it. This is
Yeah.
a perfect defensive door because you can only get one guy through it at a time, and it's like 20 feet deep.
God,
How are you ever going to storm that, right? Yeah.
what this is like, oh man, he's just like coming up with stuff. And it's like, this must have been here for this reason, because like, how are you going to do that? He's like, it's like he's trying to, I don't know, like almost like argue for why things are set up that way based on the narrative that he has already decided is the truth, which is all of these things are this way because they're hiding the Ark of the Covenant, right? It's just, but you're just, it's like it's like all these rationalizations after the fact. You're just sort of like shifting everything to make it fit what you want it to be.
Stone
That's what it sounds
doorway,
like anyway.
really narrow. Okay. So we get beyond that, and there's more dirt at the other end. So we got an approval, which was
Yeah, a lot of dirt in caves. It's weird, like Jesus. All right, here, let me see what's up. Deep State, what's up, dude? He said there's evidence around the Dead Sea for three have been what? For there have been 2 cities and an asteroid or meteor strike around the time the story of Sodom and Gomorrah happened. What? Wait, there's evidence for that there were 2 cities and an asteroid. Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. I always thought it was Pompeii. You know what I mean? I know it. It just made more sense to me that maybe it was just stories of Pompeii made it. But I don't know when the timing is. I know Pompeii was probably like way later. But it's just I could see a volcano eruption like that being like that's God's judgment. Like that would make perfect sense in the minds of the people at that time. They'd be like, yeah, this is totally God. Like the sky turns black. There's literal fire flowing from the sky, lava dripping down, like all of that tracks as far as like, okay, God's pissed, like as far as like people back in the day. But an asteroid hitting, that's interesting. I've not heard of this one. That's really interesting. Let's see, Drusilla said, are this going anywhere? I have no idea. I don't I know. I'm about to skip ahead and see if the story gets a little bit more. I want to see him pantomime running. And so then we're running, dude. Then we're running. And I'm doing backflips. And then starts doing pantomiming backflips. Right? Ninjas coming out from every side. They're protecting the Ark of the Covenant. I'm karate chopping them left and right. That's right. I've got training. Okay. Yeah, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo Jitsu. And I let's see what else we got. Ember said, "Oh, thank you for after." Yeah, there it is. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. That's the fundraiser premiere. Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Like head there. I think it's after this, right? I don't know exactly what time, but I imagine it's basically when this is over, and then you can head there and do the fundraiser, and that'd be really cool. Let's see. We already did that one. Let's see. Though the guy is nuts, and the myths of the loss of the Ark of the Covenant happened when David was supposedly alive. The temple that he's showing was not built until way later. So they're mixing up. And so that's what I'm saying. Like so much of this is just powering through because they're so used to these people are so used to just making shit up. Right. And none of this is verified by any kind of actual experts in the field or anything like that. Right. So often they're just making shit up and they just love doing it. Again, it's more of that like finding connections and stuff and believing that there's a big mystery of this Ark of the Covenant and all that type of stuff. Right. But it's just them making up connections and finding stories. I mean, look, listen to half of his story is defending why the dirt was there. You know what I mean? Like he's like, but the dirt was like this. And he's like, but that makes sense that you would have dirt like that for it to be hiding something because they have to come through one at a time. So that was clearly a defense mechanism of some sort. No, man, it's just who knows? It's literally anything else. But it's now we're seeing it's not even the same fucking temple that they're showing. Because I'm sure that things been like built and rebuilt. I mean, I don't know how the whole like how this all works, but for them to be able to act like they know where the Ark of the Covenant would be and it would still be in those kinds of places, just to me makes no sense. Like those places have been People have been all over those places for God knows how fucking long, and nobody found an Ark of the Covenant or anything like that. It just, to me, it doesn't. I don't I don't fucking buy it, dude. It's really silly. And then of course the guy that claims that he found it, no evidence of anything at all. But all right.
Unheard of to say we're going to get rid of this dirt.
Okay.
And so we got rid of enough dirt to get to the back so our guys can go up and down and then through to the other side and start removing literally tons of dirt, bucketfuls at a time, with our 30 or 40 volunteers. And we're there days.
Bucketfuls of dirt at a time.
Doing that.
Man.
In fact,
You were there.
I was there. I was part of the team. We found pottery. We found all
That
sorts.
was a good question, man. I'm glad you asked that. So you were there. I was there. That was the
things that date
good interview, man. Good interview.
back to the correct time. And I got pictures of that. I'll give you a picture of that.
Okay.
So the design of the pottery and the type in this,
What we just saw pictures of the temple that was built way later. Why weren't we seeing pictures that he just gave? I'll give you pictures about that. That's so you can. We'll work that out in a little later, not now.
it's not just us, but it's the archaeologist that was the lead archaeologist for Jerusalem at the time verified that the markings on this pottery match the time that this would have happened. I think that's significant.
That what?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would have happened?
Back to
okay.
So
Cool.
this is possible, Mike. That he
but
found
so far it's completely plausible.
Yeah.
All this makes sense.
Now,
What
I
do you
had
defend yourself
doubts
against?
about it. I don't mean to interrupt your story,
Yeah.
but it sounds like where you're going with this. This is
Hold on, let me let him. Emmer said it starts at 11 Eastern to wrap up in time for tonight's transposition. Oh, cool. Okay, so that'll be yeah. So yeah, head there for that because that'll be really great. All right, cool. Andy said Sodom, Bronze Age impact, a tall what at Tal L Hammond, Dr. Steve Collins. I have no wait, Brian. What is that? A book of some sort? I think it might be a book.
you believe it's possible he found it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we dig and dig and dig. And we
It's like, can you get to the fucking point, dude? Like, it says, so you saying that you think you found what? Can you just do the thing, man? Can you just what's happening right now? You seem to be not. You seem to forget what we're doing here.
get to a wall that was man-made, and we expose a big section of wall. If you want to shoot the camera.
Yeah, let's shoot the camera there.
That was
It's like we
about-
can see the wall based on the hotel room.
This size, twice the length this direction, where the dirt was up here, and now it's down to about right here, and we get to the foundation of a man-made wall with a footer that dates, the archaeologist says, this is a 600 BC wall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he knows that, but somehow he's a smart guy. He's
This is like smarty stuff that that he's. It's like, and it was this tall. This is so just like it just reminds me of like my dad and his friends just like talking about stuff, and pretending they're on like a national treasure journey of some sort. Oh my god!
knows that. So that's pretty good. So we said,
And that he put on this little damn, I can't see
we're going to ground
pouch thing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna wear the pouch, honey. What do you think about that? We're gonna be talking about how I verified the Noah's the Ark of the Covenant that guy found. So what do you think? Is that like good? This makes me look pretty official, right? I can put the artifacts that I was finding in the little pouch. Yeah, really sells the story. The shoes kind of hurt it, but this is kind of the only shoes I have right now. So I'm gonna have to
scan this, and we're going to survey where this was.
Okay.
He is outside of the city. So I found that I am 45 feet below grade.
Thank you. All right, got you.
Directly above me is basically the road to Damascus, which is outside the city gates. I'm outside the city gates, adjacent to the Damascus entrance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh, the Damascus temperature. Okay. Captain Death said Israel is known for giving groups busy work, sifting through garbage piles, and yes, they find pottery shards and clean up the mess for free. Win-win. That's funny. I could see them doing that. That's all these Americans are like, Americans really want to know where all this Jesus stuff is, like the cup that he drank from and stuff like that, Arks of Covenants and all that. Yeah. You said the cup's probably in that pile of stuff. So good. Yeah, knock yourself out. That's and clean up the mess afterwards. So just like doing construction cleanup for Israel.
And I am nearing what you would call going towards where they used to store the buses, okay, for the city. I mean, currently.
What is
right?
Yeah.
Mysteries? What is that? James said, is this an episode of the Mysteries of Oak Island? What is that? Mysteries of Oak Island. I've never heard of that. That's awesome.
Okay, then the archaeologist had said, I wonder where this goes. And he said, we'll let you keep going, but you can't touch this wall. This is now an artifact. So they let us assemble wood and construction equipment and everything and tunnel underneath the footer to get to the other side, because when we ground scanned it, we could see the tunnel continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that's going to take time. So we went back up to grade, surveyed and knew exactly where we were underground. I had surveyors. And then we used the ground scanning radar and went all the way across the road to Damascus, over the bush, led right to underneath.
Like, now he thinks the camera's up above his head, so he's like drawing them. Now on the bed, here's the map. Now check it out. This is Damascus here. Now here's the road to Damascus. This is where Paul, magically saw Jesus in his mind and was blinded or whatever. Jesus.
Where Ron was digging, where he found a cross hole. Okay,
Yeah.
So, right. This
What?
cave, I was able to verify with the ground scanning radar that it went in the right area where Ron had also found and dug down.
Wait, is he saying the cross hole? Is he trying to say like where the cross was, where Jesus's cross was put in the earth? Is because he was just saying that, right? That it's like the blood dripped from Jesus down onto the Ark of the Covenant, like a fucking bad movie.
What he would call a cross hole and plug.
Right.
And what is that? Okay, so let's say you're going to kill somebody on a stick or a cross, or what are we going to kill them?
What is with the fucking? This is so. Okay, so say you're just gonna kill somebody with a stick. Now check this out. How are you gonna do it, huh? Are you gonna just nail him? Like, what are you doing, man? Why do you have to do all this? Like, you just say.
Well, everything's kind of stone there. So what they would do is the ground is basically a bunch of stone.
Yeah.
And they carved out a hole that was about that big square, about that deep. And then they put a plug in it, so if it rains and mud, it won't fill up. So we're going to kill a guy, you pull the plug, stick the post in it, kill the guy.
Stick the cross in.
Mm-hmm. But this one has a crack going right through the middle of it, like an earthquake.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, the crack near the hole, that's got to be where Jesus was crucified, so that the earthquake happened and split the veil and all that was split in two, right?
You saw they wanted to get rid of that evidence.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
they did
Ooh.
when I was at the that's over by the garden tomb.
Right.
It's in there. They would not tell it was actually the gardener. There might have been an angel. And it was actually Rick Jones who was not running those. They said that
The gardener, but he was pretty angelic. Okay, he was actually a very good looking guy. I mean, it's may have been an angel. I don't really know what angels look like. I don't talk to he was hot. I mean, he was an angel, probably. I don't know.
these were conspiracy theories that didn't exist at the garden tomb
Right.
of Jesus, the Catholics that are there.
Well, you and I were talking on the phone. I said, look for an old guy.
Yes. That's funny. I was on the phone with you, Mike. And
God, this is like a fucking treasure hunt for these people. It's so funny. They're like obsessed with these old stories, and then they go over there and they're like, okay, now we gotta find the secret fucking tunnels to the Ark of the Covenant. They have no idea how to not tell, or like how to tell if something's fantasy or something is real at all. Like, and just being able to go to Israel and be like, man, this looks so like the back in time. So everything looks just like I would be in a movie. So this is like the movie, dude.
The gardener came over and he said, here's the thing. And even the crosshole plug was there. We had that on film. So you were somewhere underneath there.
I saw it. I was
So, I
there.
mean, this is the first time you told me this story.
Yeah,
in this
it's
way.
pretty amazing. This tunnel.
Blood Badger's like, okay,
mean, in
this
this way.
guy's dragging. He's like, this guy's dragging. Did we find the fucking thing or not? What's going on here? Hello, hey, buddy, standing up and pointing to the wall in the bed and making maps of the floor. Did you find it? What's going on? Can you get to the fucking finding the thing? And the answer is no, dude. No, of course not. It's not real. Okay, but no, but he is verifying that somebody else claimed that they found it. So that's what this is.
Exactly. This tunnel led exactly to that same spot. That's amazing.
So do you think that tunnel was what is that tunnel what they used in the dark?
Exactly.
Out from underneath there, was what you can actually put the siege
You
on?
Raiders of the Lark.
Well, that would be the okay. So remember, you're 45 feet
Yeah.
below, but your grade as you're tunneling may
Come up.
because at that point the crosshole plug is about 15 to 20 feet below grade.
I mean, that'd be a good, like, you know, if you got to tell the boss, the gardener's boss, right? You know, your gardener was awesome. He may have even been an angel. I don't know. I'm just saying, okay? But you need to give that guy a raise, probably, okay?
Right.
So if I went to back then, see, that had been all excavated by the time you went back. But when I was there with the team, we went right to the hole, and there's his stuff, and even his electric.
And if you want to go right to the hole, just go to adamandeve.com, enter that code word Brentley, and check out. You can go straight to the hole, whichever one you want. And you got products that you can insertion them into those holes. adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley, BRENTLY, at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. And the packaging is discreet. God, I'm getting fast at that now. It's like it's almost as if I say it all the time or something.
What do you call it? Jackhammer was still down in the hole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh.
Was that King David's jackhammer? Because that would be something. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. If that's
You found his jackhammer?
Yeah, it was
down there?
right still there.
So you knew where he was.
I knew exactly where it was. It was there.
See, the way
I
this
knew-
is portrayed
I knew exactly where he was. He was there
to a lot of people is that he was
because I found his jackhammer. So I guess he's talking about the Wyatt guy or whatever. What the fuck is his name again? I'm all right. I don't care. Who cares?
wasn't really getting anywhere. So you're stating when you went down that tunnel. Okay, so that tunnel begins sort of out there by the garden tomb area somewhere that he was crawling in. Is that okay? So now when you go in that tunnel where Ron was,
Right.
are there
It's
lots of different directions
Swimming?
you could go?
Mhm.
good.
Okay, so this is expansive. Once he was underground,
Yeah.
you've got expansive areas. You're
Yeah.
going off this way and that way.
Yeah.
That's
But
what, yeah.
there is an area that you can get to underneath there where it's
That's it. I was thinking the same thing. It's expansive. You can go this way or that way. So yeah, this is all just meaning. These are meaningful statements that I'm saying out of my mouth. Jazz was saying I'm hosting a debate with Mark Reed on this channel Sunday about the afterlife. If anyone wants to catch it live, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, May 26th on Mark's channel. Cool. Hell yeah. I will definitely be checking that out. Mark's great, dude. Mark's yeah, he does a lot of great content over there. But hell yeah, cool. Oh, and look at the trees made it. Hey, what's up, dude? Doing all right? David's jackhammer is a sexual position. And if you want to do some David jackhammering, okay, that's look at the trees. Come on, man. I'm trying to do a thing here. Can you just move your okay, you're not even gonna do it. You're not even listening to me. It's like you don't have control over it or something. I don't know what you're doing. But we gotta get on this sort of thing. You guys always do this. When I'm trying to do ads, you just bring it up.
I'm really skinny or narrow.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do is access where this tunnel was going from a different direction.
Right.
And he had to have been led by something not human.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, like a monster with like 7 heads and maybe a horn, and then there's a little horn that takes over the big horn's And fuck this.
Well, because what would lead him to find the precise place before I was there years later ground scanning radar and finding that is where the tunnel went? He would have had no idea about that.
He would
What
have
the
known.
fuck?
Yeah.
He didn't have
Oh, this guy can talk. Okay, what is?
What?
He didn't
Yeah.
have the equipment, but for some reason he knew where to dig. Now, part of the reason
This
is,
is so fun.
and they told me this is pretty interesting. So
It's like, how would he have known where to dig after the fact? But we found his jackhammer when we were excavating. This is also funny. So he must have been led there by a magical being of some sort. Okay, dude.
you've been to the Garden Tomb, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's say this is the wall to the Garden Tomb,
Okay.
and you're standing back and you're looking at it. And let's say that's to the left of the doorway, which is only about this high, right?
Right.
Okay. And then there's a little hole up
People
here. It's a vent
were pretty short back then. I'm just saying.
hole because it's got a vent. Okay. And if you went into the Garden Tomb this way, there's a keeping room over here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And where he was buried, not literally buried, is it? Was right there. It's like laid right.
Was he like correcting what you just said? Like, and where he was buried? I mean, it's not buried, like the tomb is like where the buried's buried, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just where he was at.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a track built, carved
For the
into the
stone.
stone.
Yeah.
Where they roll the stone, okay, to cover it. Richard had been there and had already ground scanned the whole area and discovered.
And this is like one of those things that like I remember being like really, really, really wanting to like go over and you know to Israel and look at all this stuff. I was like so into this shit. I think that's one reason why this is fascinating to me because like this is exactly like what I wanted to do back in the day, man. I was like I really wanted to Indiana Jones the fuck out of that Israel trip. You know what I mean?
The pin that they use to secure the stone so no one can open it. And he verified that. Right like over here. So here's the door.
What?
And remember how tall
Hold on. Captive Des. Actually, Ron said Jesus showed up and told him. Good job, Ron. Just saying, pat on the back from Jesus. That's what you get, buddy. Hey, good job. Attaboy. All right, I'm out. I'm out of here. But glad you found the magical thing. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You will die. Okay, I'm out. See ya. You know, Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
the door was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think of the circumference of the stone and the width of the stone because the track, that's a pretty big stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Right.
track.
How would
That's
you
how you could
secure
tell.
something back then? The same way they built the Colosseum. You would drill a hole into the stone, through the stone into the wall, okay? And then you actually stick a spike in it, iron, and then what you do is
What does this have to do with anything, man? Now you're telling us how to make the door or make the stone work for it. Like I know this might be really interesting to somebody who's a fucking carpenter like you probably are or something. Describing the spike that held the rolly stone of Jesus's tomb, which I'm pretty sure none of this is even real. I'm pretty sure none of this was what they're saying it was. Like this was all just stuff that was kind of like manufactured after the fact. But anyway, this is so funny. Like this, and even he looks like he's just like, okay, man, can you like get to a fucking point at some point here, man? Like
you pour the thing with this little tool, you pour hot lead into it. That's exactly how they made the connections in the Colosseum for the stones. Well, guess what?
What? Who
Richard
cares?
found the pin with the core pin of iron, and based on its metallurgy, it matches the date and time, and also the lead around it.
Hold on.
And that
How do they verify dates and times, like just for like lead and stuff? Are they carbon dating things? Like how are they doing that? Because they can just, or is it just like the type of lead? Like I wonder how they date that stuff or how they would, because it'd be really interesting if they're sitting there like accepting some of this, some of the stuff, right? Like some of the carbon dating is accurate and then others as not, right? It just seems interesting.
was what was used to secure the stone. If you read the testimonies closely about what the angel did, it doesn't actually say the angel rolled the stone away. It said he threw it away. Okay, so
Complete. Andy's like, this is just fucking bullshit. What the bullshit, man? Like if Andy was in the corner, then he's like, fucking bullshit, man, bullshit. I don't fuck no. You're full of shit, buddy. Fuck you too, man. Just want to say, fuck you.
If you're the guards, right? And this guy goes,
Oh yeah.
you know, you're gonna
That's
like,
what I was saying,
all
man.
right, well, I'm kind of done here. Let's go.
Oh man, that's so good, Simon. Oh, this guy's great. This guy's great.
Right.
Because the angel threw it out of the way.
Nobody's reacting. Nobody is reacting. This guy he's like on a roll here, and everybody's just like, right, yeah, that's
Sort of is kind of a substantially different thing to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's another thing I thought was interesting.
Mm-mm.
When you get to the very far back of the garden tomb vault, right? This is a wealthy man's tomb. You're in Joseph's sort of garden because there was grapes and everything being grown there as well.
This
And it
is
matches
just like-
Joseph,
Yeah.
who had that land. See, these things to me go together and make a lot of sense,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I know. It's weird how that works. Like all the things that just you're putting together in your mind, like the pin. Somebody found a pin or whatever. You're like, this must have been to the door to the rock that the angels pushed away from.
Okay, so Richard and I said,
Hey,
Richard said, we need to see what's on the other side of this wall.
what's up, dude?
So we made an appointment with a monk because if you look at that wall and you look up high,
Okay,
I'd say
that makes sense. So the left-handed Jedi said samples of known sites can be compared to others. Okay, fair enough. So they don't use any kind of carbon dating or anything like that, nor do metric radio dating or anything, whatever. Interesting. Okay.
15 feet or something. There's a fence.
Right. You're talking above the garden tomb. You go over.
Right. You know what's
to the
over
other
that
side.
fence? Well, the grade actually is about the height of this. And then there's a fence on top of that. Well, there's a monastery or a priest house or whatever you call that thing up there about a few yards.
Dude, it's really official. It's like priest house, whatever the thingy, the priest thingy up at the top, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we went there. And so we had an appointment with a priest, a temple a Catholic temple priest up there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we said, all right,
Okay. Fair enough.
we know there's some tombs underground below this place here. Can you take us there? He goes, not sure I know what you're talking about. And we asked him
What?
2-3 times. I don't know. And then Richard said, we want to contribute something to your church and have you bring it to your officials. And he goes,
The Ark of the Covenant, is it going to be the Ark of the Covenant? I don't know if he remembers what we're talking about. I feel like he forgot. Feel like he forgot what we're supposed to be talking about here.
the tunnels. Oh, right. And
gonna
absolutely,
give you-
that's what happened. He says, okay. And we did a little something. And he showed up the next morning. Absolutely. He actually had a Grateful Dead t-shirt on. Which is fun.
That's very important to the story that we're talking about.
So we met with him and he showed us the secret passage to get to the tunnels underground.
Yeah.
Now, so we
The
get into
secret
these
passage.
catacombs over there.
Oh
And
my
those are
God.
also wealthy tombs, but they were there to bury kings.
Mm-hmm.
And each of the doorway to those tombs are in exact Royal Egyptian cubit dimensions, which is 22.93 inches, I think is a Royal Egyptian cubit. There was preparation rooms, keeping rooms, and burial places.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. This is
And where they would bury a king,
this is just Christ. Hey. I say can't stay on, but happy fucking birthday. I'm at work. So cheers. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it's coming up. Oh wait, whose birthday? It's my birthday? My birthday's coming up soon here. In about 2 weeks. But thank you if that's what that was for. That's what you were talking about my birthday, right? Is that just a greeting that people say nowadays? I could see that happening. All the cool kids just like, happy birthday, dude. What's up? Let's see. Left-handed Jedi said. Is he talking about Romi's The Great Tomb now? I don't know. This good guy is so disjointed. I'm enjoying the way he tells the story, gonna be honest. Not really following the story that much or at all. But that's it's fun to watch him tell it, I think. the Wolfo said the cubit has no official measurement. it's changed more often than baby Jesus's birthday. Yeah, dude, because like cubit just meant unit, right? Like that was just like a unit, a thingamaspace, you know, whatever, like a particular number of spaces. And that, but this is the number of those particular spaces, you know. Yeah, it's just, it's pretty meaningless when you look at a lot of. That's why it's so interesting when they'll say that they found Noah's Ark, because they're always like, oh, it's the cubit, like it's this exact amount, and then they're always like, and this is like what the cubit is rumored to be measured as from that time or whatever. And it's always just like, and it happens to perfectly line up with the thing that you found, right? It's like, come on, man. It's so funny how they do that. But yeah, the cubit's not really even we don't know what the hell it was at all. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose that I'm 40. I thought it was a birthday post too. Oh, my bad. No, yeah, I'm turning 40 in like 2 weeks, but they were talking about being 35 and going through a midlife crisis. So I was like, I'm 40, but yeah, basically, right? But oh, okay, gotcha. Got to be more careful, I guess, when I'm talking about. But 2 weeks it'll be there. The cubit is length of the ruler's arm. Oh, really? Oh, that's where. Okay. Well, how big were their arm? Were they a big guy? How what that? Okay, so it's like because isn't that supposed to be how we got the foot too? Like from the, I don't know, or did they probably actually measured feet? Right, that would make more sense actually. Somebody's foot, because that's anyway. Jesus.
Kings or high officials, that was the spot over there. And I'll give you pictures of this. Okay, we put on the video. There's a spot where.
Any pictures being input here? Nope. Had the pictures of the temple that was not the correct temple before, but I'll email those pictures so I won't forget.
In each of these special tombs underneath their church, right, are these beds that are about this high.
Yeah.
Right, and a little spot here where you can see a shape where the guy's head would be and neck. Mm-hmm. So you lay the guy on it, he sit, and in the middle of that is a hole about that big around. Mm-hmm. And so I asked the priest, I said, what's this hole? He said, over the centuries, after the guy turns to, a bunch of stuff, you break him into pieces and drop it down that hole. What? And I said, but each one of these have that. He says, you're going to be amazed. All these holes lead to one spot. And I don't know how in the world they would have done that. I took my camera, went, said, let me see what I filmed down there, right? And I said, can we
do it again? We don't totally get it. Wait, can you do the motion again? Like pan them on that shit.
Where did all the bones go? He says, I'll show you. So we went down this makeshift ladder to a lower space, and there's a vault room that looks like a fireplace mantle and an opening, and all these bones. We surveyed it. It's right on the other side of the wall to the garden tomb. Oh. Yeah. We're literally just a few feet away. And there's a prophecy that says, you have littered my grave with the bones of your dead kings.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, that must, right there, that's that room, right? That is the mystery solved, dude. Why didn't you tell us that there was a prophecy?
That's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. The biggest.
That's what we talked about then.
Yeah.
And it's a fact. And I touched some of the bones.
You did? You touched them? Wow. Did you get some? Did you bring some back?
This is pretty sacred. I go, look at that.
Oh, man. Just touching sacred stuff because I'm a disrespectful piece of shit.
And actually, there was this tarantula in there, which is actually real. It's on film. Yeah.
The tarantula? There was a tarantula. Is that really what we're talking about? Again, man. The Ark of can somebody get him back on track? Just snap in front of his head and be like, hey, Ark of the Covenant, man. Hey.
I think that's good. Yeah. Yeah. But they were all broken up and stuff. And these are thousands of years of dead guys right there in this kind of fireplace.
Room on the other side of the
right.
tomb. So where Jesus was laying for 3 days, right on the other side of the wall behind it. If you're in there, there's a room full of dead kings.
Yeah, dead bones. And then the opening of which is
as opposed to those live bones. Now those suckers are a problem. You really, every so often Jason in the Argonaut, he fights them and everything.
this direction.
Right.
So it's back to back with that tomb. I like how these things match.
So the
What?
underneath. So
What things match? What the fuck is happening? I am so confused. Like, what matches here? The fact that the prophecy said something about bones, we're like, bones, boom. Therefore, Jesus, therefore, the Ark of the Covenant. We already know what the lore is about Jesus's tomb and all this type of stuff. We're looking for the Ark of the Covenant, not fucking your experience going to Jesus. I feel like this is all this was. Like, he just was like, oh yeah, I might have looked at some of the places that were where that guy had gone, and then now he's just describing his like time going to see the Jesus' tomb in Israel or whatever.
to give somebody okay, so I've got two questions for you. So the underneath out there, when you guys were looking around, it's literally like a weavework of tunnels underneath the ground. Many of them unexplored, and many of them even sealed off. Is that kind of the way it is?
Some did collapse over time.
Okay, so the room. Okay, so the criticism about Ron's discovery. Okay, so it's stated that
The criticism of Ron's discovery is that he has zero evidence of it.
that Ron, let's just phrase it for the sake of argument, believed that he had found the Ark of the Covenant.
That's good. It's good that you phrased it that way for the sake of argument.
A room with the Ark of the Covenant that he was able to sort of get a photograph with, and he also used an authoscope to get through the cracks and take a photograph. That's how I heard
He
it.
was sort of able to get a photograph of the room with the Ark of the Covenant in it, but not the Ark of the Covenant. Like, how is it? Okay, I don't.
With the group of people I was with as we were discussing this.
Okay, so now he went to the antiquities authorities following this.
He went back to the guy and said, look what I found.
Okay, so what happened? So the story there is that they locked the area off.
They did.
Let's see, Steven said, hey, I'm listening to you in my car today. The theme music sounds really cool though, through the car stereo. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, it's a song that my friends and I made back in the day. You're talking about the intro music? Yeah, we made a song about cocaine. I didn't write the lyrics. Okay, I don't do drugs. Okay, scouts on. But yeah, and so I took the solo out of that and made it the intro music.
And they sent Ron home. Now that's substantial if that's what happened.
Okay, this is exactly what happened. All
Okay,
right,
go
so
So he comes back and he does literally, because this is what he went home and told everybody.
well,
He
yeah,
went
I
home
was
and
there
he
and they
told
verified.
everybody, I have found, see, because you
Verified what? You haven't verified anything other than he said something.
gonna look like a crazy.
And you found a jackhammer that you are assuming somehow that it was his. If any of this is even accurate at all, this guy sounds like he's literally making shit up. Sounds like he did some kind of like surveying job in Israel, and then just is making all of these connections and just creating a whole story out of this, and be like, oh no, I saw the spots that he was talking about, and that's it. That's all the evidence we got here.
Person coming back with this story.
Absolutely.
So he goes directly home to all the Christians that support him in all the different places and says, I found the Ark of the Covenant. That's literally what he did. And then following this,
Hold on.
Israel and
Let me see. Hold on, Captive Death said. No, that photo didn't turn out from the scope. Ron made a film though, but the angles have it for safe. But the angels have it for safekeeping. Okay, that's so funny.
and they're going to release it. You're going to find out what we found and all of this. But
It's like he's Smith, the Smith guy, the fucking Mormon dude, Joseph Smith. This is like, oh no, the plates are totally real. I even paid people to say that they saw them. I mean, they saw eyewitnesses. Like no plates, no evidence, no nothing. Did we even get the fucking jewel? Like, did he even have the jewel that he had to read the hat through or what?
I had been in a room with the Ark of the Covenant. I told my Israeli people. Shortly after this, the Israeli people are denying they even know Ron. Is that
That's
true?
right. All of a sudden he's, we don't really know that guy,
Never heard of it.
Yeah, you can tend to do that with crazy people. I'm just saying. All right, like no, we don't know that weirdo. No, I remember that guy. That guy was nuts. Okay, no idea. Nope, never heard of him. that guy was psycho, dude. It's like, fucking, I'm not gonna say I knew that guy. No way.
Gets a little bit deeper than that too.
I mean, if you were lying, this would destroy your credibility.
That's right.
There.
That's
And you
right.
would know that if you were wrong.
And you can
Go
verify
away.
that never happened.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
So
Hold
So
on.
that the
Okay,
little
so
bit
we
deep.
like kind of getting into like them try at least nodding to the fact that they need some kind of evidence, and then this is the way that they are getting around it. Hold on.
deeper than that too.
I mean, if you were lying, this would destroy your credibility.
That's right.
There.
If you're lying, this would destroy your credibility.
That's
And you
right.
would know that if you were wrong.
And you can
Go
verify
away.
that.
Okay, so he's saying if you're lying, that would destroy your credibility, and Ron doesn't want his credibility ruined. Therefore, he didn't lie. Okay, that's solid.
That
That's
never
solid,
happened.
man.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't, now that he puts it like that. Yeah.
Okay, so
So that feeds into what we were just discussing before we went online.
mhm.
Would you shut the fuck up? Who the hell are you, man? Like, you're not part of this, man.
Is that thing's going to turn up?
It appears it may. It appears it may.
Because they
but-
may have it.
Well, yeah, because that's like a little goofy that they went in
Exactly.
and destroyed that
Right.
area, so you don't
So you
actually see
can't
the
get-
evidence of the cross hole and all that. It's all been excavated
Oh.
out. I mean, it took quite a few yards of
They
dirt.
actually turned it into a Starbucks, but yeah, that's what I was doing at Starbucks, Joe. But yeah, so they ruined that super duper holy site of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, where his cross hole, his cross hole goes.
and everything. But okay, so one of the times we were there,
Did they seal off that area?
oh
The
yeah,
best of your
I
knowledge,
wasn't there when it was sealed off. Remember
Yeah,
that was
What
one-
happens
Yeah.
next in the best?
I can do an Uber Eats real quick if you want to do that. Yeah, you all want to pitch in? We can get fries for everybody. No, yeah. I don't know if they drive that far, but
Of your knowledge, when Ron goes and tells the authorities.
Oh, I know exactly because I was there
Okay.
when they were all talking about it.
Okay.
So some of the guys,
I know
involved
I know exactly what they were talking about because I was there when they were talking about it.
with that whole Ministry of Antiquities and all the people that Ron would address if he found something.
Yeah.
They were in one of just kind of one of the there's a what is it YMCA hotel,
Mhm.
Oh my god!
right? That a bunch of us stayed at has a pool.
I was hoping to
Yeah,
get through
and-
this a bit more. Let's
Mhm.
see if we get to the.
The same guy that said, okay, stop. Now, when he told the guy what he found, that's when he gave that artifact to this man. And
Okay.
that's when the man said, okay, we're going to seal this off. A few hours go by. It's, I think, nighttime by then.
This is part of the high priest's outfit.
Right. He
Yeah,
said, yeah,
yeah.
he said, okay, Ron, we need your help here. He says, well, what do you need to do? Now, this is Mary Nell conveying what Ron had told her on the phone to the people they're discussing this.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, that's when we found those dead bodies. And I'm going, where's the dead body? He said, well, what happened was, and they said, okay, so
How are we just getting into a dead body story now at the end? Now I should have started this halfway through. I guess like I didn't know there'd be so much of that. Wow. Okay.
military man goes in there, seals the place off, says, all right, go down this and shimmy in here. And he had two officers go down in there and then wouldn't respond. And they called and wouldn't respond. So the other guy says, I ain't going down there. You know?
Yeah.
So then let's get Ron, because he went down there and back and he's still alive, right? And so they got Ron, and Ron went back in there and pulled the bodies out. That's what they said. I'm just listening.
See, I didn't realize that I'm with Wisconsin. Yeah, it's in 2 weeks, but it's like I feel like I'm just about but it's 40, so I'm it's kind of a big one for me. But it is in 2 weeks. It's like halfway through June. But yeah, but thank you. That's why I put that. I don't know. I wasn't thinking, I guess. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna try to do some kind of something special for a birthday, 40th birthday stream of some sort. Maybe get somebody to hang out or something. I don't know. But we'll do something fun for it. It'll be, but it's a couple weeks, about 2 weeks away, and I'm gonna be streaming a lot this week because I have the like 2 weeks off. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, but thank you. Yeah, it's my I'm a grown up now. I'm all grown up. 40-year-old person. It's crazy. Captain Zeth said Ron said he stayed in dive hotels. Turns out he stayed in what? Wait. He stayed in first class hotels with his traveling companion, and wasn't Miss Wyatt. Oh, he was on vacation. What vacation? The Griffs with his girlfriend. Oh, so he used his like, so he used like a vacation with his girlfriend, and then said that he was like, no, yeah, like when he got caught, he's like, no, actually, look, honey, I'm sorry, but I had to find the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I met an angel, and he led us to where it was. I misplaced. I put it somewhere, and don't have it. I don't have it, but that's why I was on that trip. So it wasn't anything to do with cheating. That's so funny. Jesus. The Ark was killing Jews, but not old Ron. I know, right? Yeah, it's the static electricity's gotten down a lot since then, I guess. I don't know. That's what I always picture, is somebody touching it, and it's like the that static pop was like ow, ow. It's like that whole thing, but it kills you. That's how I imagine it. Anyway. Anyway, sorry this wasn't as funny as I thought it would be. I mean, it is still, I don't know. This dude is pretty hilarious, if you ask me. But yeah, thought it'd be a little bit more of a coherent story of some sort. I didn't know, and maybe like a back and forth kind of interview type thing. I didn't know that it was going to be this just crazy bus stop guy going off, standing and sitting down and doing all this other stuff. So, but it was fun, right? It was kind of fun. But yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap it, And if you want to wrap yourself and somebody else, you should go to adamandeve.com and enter that code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Just go to adamandeve.com and enter code word Brentley at checkout and get your exclusive offer. Get your butt some stuff. It wants it. Okay, I promise your butt wants stuff. Seriously, all butts do. It's ubiquitous. It's ubiquitous. That's stupid. That didn't work. But if you want to go to, or if you want to support the show, you can support us by supporting our sponsor, adamandeve.com, and entering that code word Brentley at checkout. Or you can become a patron. And I did just put 2 things up on there, just so I am still putting stuff up there. Okay. I feel like I went back and listened. And made it sound like I wasn't still. It's just not as often as every week, like members get on YouTube, right? But when I get some extra stuff, that a lot of times stuff that YouTube won't allow, that's what I put on Patreon, right? That way I'm not wasting content and stuff, right? But yeah, so if you want to do that, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Funkaposte. Or you can do like a one-time, if you want to just do a one-time thing to help out. Like, I really appreciate anything you can do. Is on Cash App, or Cash Tag is Funkaposte. Also, but keep in mind too, like if you do have that extra right now, maybe go give it to Bree at the Hive Side channel, and I put it in the community section. I got a link to her donation spot. So if you want to donate something, that's where you should donate today. But or you can become a member, right? And we do extra weekly content, and it's every Wednesday when but most of the time it's every Wednesday. Yeah, it's always an extra live stream. It's a lot more interactive in that one. And yeah, so, and also you can email me if you want to at Gmail, or at punkapostate@gmail.com. And join our Discord, right? And you can follow me down on the other stuff. And also, look, when something like, if sometimes these get pulled down, like these streams, for many different reasons. If you missed it or something like that, like, you can always head to my Twitter. That's where I kind of just live stream. Everything is just sort of like a fail safe, so that way everything gets streamed there as well. So if something happens to the stream on YouTube, you can always check it out on Twitter. They don't pull stuff down as nearly as often as YouTube does. So just so you know, that's how that goes. But hey, thank y'all so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. I do got to run. I think we'll be back this Sunday with the. I think I'm going to try to do both. I'm going to try to do a members and a regular stream too. So, yeah. So be on the lookout on Sunday. I want to say like in the afternoon, but I'm not totally sure. Just keep an eye out on Sunday, and we'll be back. But hey, thanks again for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, everybody. Yeah, we'll see you. But the main thing though is to stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we'll see you next time.